Welcome back to this edition of Mompreneurs, the Real Deal. We are getting real and raw with Dr. Christi Pramudji Dawe. And in the first segment, we talked a little bit about her background, how she set herself up for success, even in a very difficult career, balancing life as a mompreneur. And we ended up talking a little bit about letting go of the mom guilt, letting go of all the drama that goes with that. And really and truly, that makes us think of self care, which we've hit probably in every show on Mompreneurs, because it is the hardest topic for those who are in such a heavy space. So, Dr. Christi, could you tell us a little bit more about how you do self care and also how hormonal health can affect that?
Sure. Well, I have to admit, I wasn't always great about self-care. I was really good about getting my work done and taking care of my kids, but I did, like most moms, I went to the bottom of the list. Now, I will say that I did make it a priority always to have a consistent exercise routine, whatever that looked like. I worked with a personal trainer for a while. I ran half marathons for a while and had a running buddy. I did different exercise classes. So that was always really important, to work off the stress, to take care of my body, my physical body, and just clear my head. That was kind of my time to myself, okay? So that was really, really important. Also really important to get good sleep, which is very difficult for a physician. We just, going through training, we learn how to function on very little sleep. So there's always a tendency to push the limit of how late you stay up and how early you wake up. I'm still working on that. I mean, I still am like trying to go to bed early enough to get a good solid night's sleep consistently. I'm getting way better. But that's really, really important. And the other thing that was really important for me was my practice of getting up early to pray and read my Bible and just have my own quiet moment with God and reflecting, journaling. I've journaled throughout my life, and just writing a brief little, like sometimes it's like one or two sentences, but just kind of processing what's happening in my life and asking God to guide me. That's been critical for me throughout my life. Now, hormones, let's talk about hormones. You asked about that. Hormones are so critical to our health, our vitality. They give us so much energy. They unlock the potential of the cells in our body. And, interestingly enough, humans and a couple species of whales are the only species where the females live beyond menopause. Like, if you're a tiger or a dog, after your childbearing years are over, you're done as a female. So we have this challenge that, especially now where we have so many opportunities, so much more to give to the world, even as we're aging. And if we don't have our hormones dialed in, we're not going to have the energy and the well-being and the sense of well-being and the sense of ourself that can power us forward into all of the decades of our life.
I immediately want to ask you about that in particular, because this is your area of expertise. Mm-hmm. And just as everyone else, it's always a little tightrope rope between work-life balance and taking care of our health and everything. Mm-hmm. So how important was it for you to keep your hormones in check? Because this is your profession. Mm-hmm. And did you have challenges with that because of the whole sleep cycle issue?
Yeah, well, okay, and so that's another interesting story. So I was 40 years old when I went through menopause. I was very, very young, and I think it runs in our family. But I was 40 years old, and my cycle was off, and then it just stopped, and I started feeling so terrible. I felt anxious, depressed. I was gaining weight. I did not feel like myself at all, and I literally got to the point where I thought I may have to hang this up. Like, I don't think I can continue practicing medicine and being a mom because I don't feel good. I just don't have the energy. And so I went to my gynecologist, and at that point I was not very well versed on hormones. I mean, I knew a lot about it from urology, but really wasn't something I prescribed routinely like I do now. And so I went to my gynecologist, and she offered me everything. And then at the very end, she offered hormones, but she offered antidepressants and some different supplements and different ways to treat the symptoms and maybe naturally get some hormonal boost. But my philosophy at that time, and it's still my philosophy, is if those hormones are so good for me when I'm my healthiest in my 20s and 30s, they're still good for me in my 40s, 50s, 60s, and onward. And the research, it just bears that out. And there's more and more research coming out all the time saying how healthy hormones are for us, how they prevent diseases, and how safe they are. They've gotten a bad rap because of a bad study 20, 30 years ago. That has all been debunked. So they are very safe. So I told her, give me the hormones. I need them so I can function. And I've been on them ever since.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, Sarah, we can't hear you. Try again.
Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, there you are.
Okay. So I have a question for you. How do you know, as a busy mompreneur, if you are anxious, depressed, or perimenopause, menopausal, needing hormones? How do you figure that out?
Well, if your cycle is off, if your cycle isn't regular, then that's a sign that there might be a hormonal imbalance. But other than that, it's just checking the blood work. You got to check the blood work. You got to check the hormone levels and see where they are. See where the estrogen level is. See where the progesterone is. And then I like to look at testosterone too. I think testosterone is a very powerful, essential hormone for women and for men. And in fact, women, we have more circulating testosterone deciliter by deciliter than we do estrogen. It's just we have way more estrogen than men have, and men have way more testosterone than we have. It's a different balance. But in our body, we have more testosterone, and it goes down as we age as well. And so that's another thing that I think just can really help boost us, to give us our energy, to give us our libido back, to really just get that zest for life back into the picture. And it just, for me personally, and I see it with my patients too, it just gives you that just grab onto life and take that life by the horns and go for it kind of feeling. And tons of research, and it's been used for decades in women and in men. So checking those blood levels, that's how you really know if it's a hormonal issue. And I encourage women to get their hormone levels checked, because they can be treated, and it's not only going to relieve those symptoms and make you feel better, but it's going to help you age better. You're going to age better. You're going to age slower if you're on hormones. So that's why I recommend them highly.
And I'm gonna say, because everybody who's listening is like, wait a minute, testosterone? Wait, we've heard about that, and we know about the girls who took steroids in high school, and I don't want to bulk up, and I don't want hair in weird places. Mm-hmm. So debunk that for us, because we have a female audience, and that is a myth. Just like I was in sports medicine, we shouldn't lift weights because we're going to become bulky as women. It's absurd.
Yes, exactly. Well, yeah, it has to be done right. Yeah, it can't be going to some kind of fly-by-night clinic where they just give you too much cream or too many injections, so that you're getting way overdosed and you are getting the testosterone level as a man. We want to get the testosterone level up to 1/10 of what a man would be. And that's the appropriate dosing. And if you're at that level, you shouldn't have those side effects. You should just feel great. You're not going to look like a man. I mean, I've been on hormones. I've been on testosterone now for 5 years, and I don't think I look like a man yet.
You don't look like a man.
So, now, I mean, some women are a little more sensitive with the hair, getting a little hair there, and that's not very common though, you know, and it can be treated. And if that is a big bother and they don't want to deal with laser hair removal or what have you, that it's reversible. But that is very uncommon. Most women feel great and they don't have any of those side effects.
Oh, that's fantastic. And I just want to reiterate this because we do have to go to break. Ladies, listen up. Testosterone is not a bad word for you, but it is something that you want to make sure you're going to the right professional and that it's monitored so that it's the right dosage for you. No fly-by-night clinics. And if you're feeling off, definitely get your blood levels checked. That's what I have as my takeaway. You already got your action step from Dr. Christi, and we will be right back with more after these messages.